I don't doubt that one of the most satisfying shots for any golfer to do is to take the driver out the bag, split the fairway and hit it 300 yards right down the middle and knock it past your mates and claim all the bragging rights. But then again, the frustrating shot would be to try and do that and carve it out of bounds into the trees and have to reload another one because you've lost the first. So it's important that golfers don't chase that first feeling of being the longest driver on the straightest holes and end up with too much of the second option of having to reload because they've hit a bad tee shot. And I think often golfers make the mistake of actually overusing the driver and effectively overusing it on the wrong holes. I see some golfers that anytime it's not a par 3, first club that comes out the bag is driver. And particularly if it's a course you're not familiar with, if you look on the tee marker and it says par 4, par 5, oh, must be a driver then. Head cover off, walk onto the first tee, look down there and go, ooh, that's a bit narrow, and there's water there, and there's white out of bounds markers there, and there's bunker there, but, well, I've got my driver now, so I better hit this. And then we go ahead and hit a driver that we're not comfortable hitting and not committed swing, and it can go into one of those troublesome and hazard areas. So what I'd like you to do to be a better driver of the golf ball is only use the driver when it's appropriate to do so. And that doesn't mean always on par 4s, par 5s. Have a look at the teeing ground, looking at the fairway, and assess where the danger is and where the safe areas are. It's important also to notice how far you actually hit your driver. If you're driving the ball 280 yards, you can look out there and see, well, where's the danger? And if it narrows up at 260, 270, 280, then driver's not the right club for you because you're going to reach that narrow area. If there's a stream there at 280, you think, well, I'm going to drive it in the stream, so you're going to have to lay back, so therefore we're not going to hit driver, we're going to hit 3-wood. Likewise, there might be a stream at 250 that everyone else is having to lay up from, but you know, I hit my driver 280 so I can go over that stream, so therefore driver might be the right option. So it's not necessarily that you have to look at your playing partners and think, well, they've got driver, so I must hit driver, or they've got 3-wood, so I can't hit 3-wood. It's quite personal, quite individual, so you need to know your tendencies, you need to know your distances. When I talk about tendencies, it could be that I'm prone to slicing the ball to the right. So if I stand on a hole here and there's trouble all the way down the right hand side, that's going to be a tough pull for me to pull driver, knowing that my bad shot goes to the right, the tendency goes to the right, and the trouble is to the right. Likewise, if there's another fairway over there, I think, well, it'd be fine to go on that fairway. I could hit driver on this hole, knowing that there's a bit of space, bit of room, and if I get into trouble, I will be okay. So I think the key thing I want to try and impress upon you within this video is don't just pull a driver out because it's a par 4 or a par 5. In fact, go onto the teeing ground and have a look before you select your club. Look at the areas where it's safe, look at the areas where it's dangerous, know your distances and know your tendencies, and then make a more informed decision about whether driver is appropriate. And know that if you can hit a 3-wood or a hybrid club in play, that will be better than a driver that's driven into trouble.